Are you looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing? Call Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros today. They specialize in investment properties as well as condotels, DSCR loans, single family, and condo loans. If you're looking for competitive rates and you want to shop around and find the best rate for this market, give us a call today, 843-957-3872, 843-957-3872. You're listening to the Dollars and Cents Radio Show with Jonathan Edmond, the conspiracy theorist, and Wes, the economist. Don't forget to send us your emails at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com, and please follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs, on Facebook at Dollars and Cents, and please listen to us on the podcast format on Spotify and Apple at Dollars and Cents Radio Show.
This part of the show is brought to you by Clark Financial Coaching. Reach out to us at coachwesc@gmail.com. That's coachwesc@gmail.com to get a free consultation to help you get your financial picture in focus.
All right, guys, welcome back to another segment. We are talking about the election aftermath. We've had a couple
all
others.
week we've been talking about the election.
Yeah, it's
Talked about how
obviously
Trump
everybody
win.
is.
Had a good conversation about his win. Then we had a good conversation a few days ago about her loss and how the Democrats are losing contact with the people, I think.
Yeah, they are totally lost right now. It's appalling to me that after he won, so many people were shocked on the media of how they couldn't believe it had happened.
The polls.
Yeah, the
polls were off again.
The polls. He was right. Trump was right about the polls. He said it on the podcast. He's like, they're a joke.
Yeah, they are.
I'm sure they hate that. But
2016, they misread him.
Yep.
2020, he outperformed them.
Yep.
They swore this time they got it right. They fixed all those issues. They were way off.
They were way
I mean,
off.
they literally, I don't have a percentage in front of me of how much of the popular vote he's got, but he definitely is more than 1 point ahead in the popular vote.
Yeah.
And in every state, you look at what the polls were and what he ended up winning by.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan has been back and forth between 1 and 2 for both of them.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting over 2% more than her in the vote there.
Right.
Pennsylvania, he got about 2%. So he's up the board. Georgia, back and forth, he was up to 2.25%.
Yeah.
So just got it completely wrong.
Yeah, they got it completely wrong, and then they were appalled. They were like, well, how did this happen? I think what it was, the media is so blind to their own, how bad they've become and how biased that they just anything that happens that's not what they're saying is going to happen.
Right.
They almost think like they're bigger than they are, and at this point they're becoming so small. And I think they're going to finally start to wake up and realize it. So I'm excited to see them just be in complete, utter shambles of how this happened, because to not understand it, because I can see it. I understand
One of the best things that could happen, because somebody just bought CNN, last year?
Something like
that. Best thing that could happen is to go in Clear House and start again from scratch and try to make a legitimate journalist.
Yeah, try to make an effort to be truthful.
Truthful
would be a great start.
Yeah.
Be truthful, and so that's what the news is. That what they're doing is not news. It's entertainment and lies is what it is. That's all it is.
That's all it is. And they talk about the same stuff over and over again. I remember it used to be headline news. I think they just run TV shows and all now, but used to every 30 minutes you got news, just like a newscast at night. But it wasn't just the main points. It was more stuff around the country.
Right.
Now you tune into CNN or Fox, you just get a political opinion all the time.
Yeah.
You don't hear stuff that's going on in Montana or Washington or Georgia unless it has something to do with politics.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably we're talking about today's podcast. We're talking about the Congress. We've talked about how Trump's won, and they call it a landslide. I don't know if you can call 4 million votes a landslide. Obviously, in the Electoral College, yes, he did very well in the Electoral College. But we talked about how Harris lost. But the thing that is more important is you got a Republican president. And if you don't have a Republican House and Senate, there's not much you can get done.
Right.
Now, I personally like a divided government to keep things not getting out of hand. But they're out of hand now, so we got to do something about it. So I'm excited about having, hopefully, conservatives having big influence on what's going on. But even then, a lot of the people who got elected on last Tuesday, were not. They're not fiscal conservatives, so they're not going to be the ones that we need. But hopefully, there's enough in there to actually make a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully it changes. I mean, like you said, it's when you have split power. I mean, it's good to have split power, but when nothing's getting done and it's just negatively
getting
affecting
worse.
the American or getting worse,
Yeah.
it's time something's got to be done to at least fix it and then maybe get us back on the rails at least.
So we're recording this obviously early. By the time this one releases, probably about 5 days since this has been recorded. But as of right now, we sit with Republicans with 53 seats in the Senate and Democrats with 45. And we still got 2 more that's got to be decided.
Yeah.
And the 2 they have not called yet are Nevada, and Arizona.
Yeah.
Nevada's looking like, and probably by the time you listen to this, it's probably going to be called, but the Democrat incumbent is up by a little over 1%, with 96% in.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to take that. So Democrats
Yeah.
will be at 46. Arizona, Lake is giving a good push. She literally, talking about the polls,
Right.
she literally was not within 5 points of the incumbent
Mm-hmm.
this whole election cycle. I
I
saw
know.
10 and 12
Yeah.
a couple months ago, and she literally sits at 1.3% behind him.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's a
With
comeback.
only 78% of the
Yeah.
precincts
That's that
reporting.
one's anybody's game right now. Yeah.
I'm afraid the precincts that are left are probably in Flagstaff and Austin.
Yeah.
She's probably going to lose it, but
Yeah.
again shows you how bad the polling was.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
But 53 is still good. I obviously like to have more
Right.
because you've got a few so-called Democrats. Was it Maine?
I
Is
don't
Maine
even
they
know.
got a Democrat? Is it well, they had an independent win this last time, and I want to say the other one is a Republican in name. Let's see if I can find another look at that. But the yeah, here it is. So that's the presidential. I don't want the presidential. I want the Senate. So the Senate, you have Republican sitting, and now you've got an independent that's won this other seat
Yeah.
by a pretty big margin, actually.
Right.
But that Republican is not the most conservative. Alaska, that's strange to me not to have a senator out of Alaska that's real conservative.
Yeah, that is weird.
But so with 53, those 2 get negated anyway.
Yeah.
So you still have 51, and if you have another one that kind of jumps ship and goes the other way, you got J.D. Vance 50-50.
Right.
J.D. Vance steps in to make the deciding vote.
Right. Right.
So I think it looks good for us in the Senate. And I say us. I don't even like to call myself a Republican because I don't. The party itself I don't like. But I'm like
Yeah.
you. I'm excited about what's to come.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's going to be some real changes there. Obviously, we're kind of speculating, but it seems like from what we can both tell that it's the Republican Party's up to. It looks like there's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little different. It's not going to be what you're used to seeing, I think.
Yeah, not in the Senate. And the big thing about the Senate is it has to confirm all the cabinet.
Right.
It also has to confirm all the judges that Trump wants to put in. Most people overlook what he did with the judges last time. As bad as they were in 2020, I think, for election issues, he put more federal judges in place in 4 years than any other president or something like that.
Yeah.
And so at least we had some, and he's going to do that again.
Right.
I think that'll be one of his sub-cabinets or whatever.
Yeah.
You look at the organization he's built to transition into next year's administration. It's phenomenal in itself.
Yeah, I'm excited just to see how it all lines up. I'm almost more excited about that than I was like seeing if he was going to win. I want to see this lineup of everybody he gets in on every aspect and see where he puts them. And because there's just a lot of people.
And he won't be getting up at 10 and checking out at 3 every day. So.
No,
Like Biden.
no, he ain't taking no midday naps either. No.
He'll be going.
He's gonna be going nonstop.
Somebody on the other side was even commenting on this. If you look at pictures of Clinton going in and Clinton coming out, and Bush going in, Bush going out, and Obama going in and Obama coming out, the
They
presidencies, the stress, they are just.
They look
puts
rough when
years
they
on
leave.
you.
Not Trump.
When you put. You look Trump side by side. Now, he did gain a lot of weight, I think, when he was in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
But otherwise, and he came out and lost it. You look at him before and after, he almost looked better after. I mean, he was.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Them
Sounds
Diet
scary.
Cokes, I guess. That Diet Coke.
Oh, is he like Diet Coke?
That's all. He eats like McDonald's and Diet Coke. That's what he.
Really?
That's his. Dana White was talking about him on some podcast. He was like, "I've never seen the man drink a water." He's like, "I've been friends
Really?
with this man forever. Like at the UFC fights, he'll be sidelined, and I'll ask him if he wants something to drink because obviously he doesn't drink alcohol at
Right,
all,
right.
or a water or something. Nope. And then randomly, I'll see when somebody bring him a Diet Coke, and that's all I've ever seen the man drink. I was like, "Wow." He's like, it works for him. I was like, I guess it does. So
Everybody's different.
yeah, everybody's different.
But yeah, I mean, the Senate is going to be in his favor. They're talking about Tom Cotton being the majority leader, which, thank goodness, Mitch McConnell, he needed to go a long time ago.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell is one of the reasons we're going to lose Arizona if we do lose it.
Right.
He didn't help. He didn't put any money there. Cruz in Texas, I don't know if you followed that election night.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a dogfight.
Yeah.
And again, McConnell would not send any help. None of the national money went to Cruz. Did you hear what won the election for Cruz?
Mm-mm.
The border counties that usually go Democrat.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, they literally, from Rio Grande over down through the border,
Yeah.
usually goes all Democrat.
Yep.
Not this time.
Yeah,
They're
I bet
done.
they don't. Yeah,
They're done.
they've had enough of that. They're the ones that see the instant repercussions of not taking care of the border.
And he ended up winning by 9%.
Yeah.
It was close, and they were really worried about it, but he ended up losing by 9%. Across the board, everybody won by more than people thought.
Yeah.
Scott in Florida won by 13%.
Wow.
So really big. Now, Pennsylvania was one Democrats were supposed to keep.
Mm-hmm.
And McCormick was actually, in the last 24 hours, has been named the winner. Casey, the incumbent, has not backed out. He hadn't conceded.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he's going to fight it. Wouldn't that make him an election denier?
Yeah, I think that's how that works. Yeah.
But they are very close. It's right at a half a point between them, with 98% of the precincts reporting. So, but that was flipped. Montana was flipped, I believe. Was it Montana flipped?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, Montana flipped, but he won by 7%, 8%.
Yeah.
Sheehy, I think there was 4 flips. So Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they were shocked by the Montana flip because I guess the Democrat there is from Montana, was like a rancher or whatever,
Yeah.
and then but this person came in or whatever it was, the Republican, and just wiped the floor.
Wiped it up.
Yeah.
Says 4 got flipped. I'm not sure who else got flipped. West Virginia, maybe? No, West Virginia didn't have an incumbent running.
There was one more. I don't remember now.
So Ohio. But
That's right. That was the first one that flipped.
Yeah, we expected it to flip, but it did flip.
Yeah, that was the first one they called.
4% there.
Yeah.
I mean, across the board, they seem to have really all the Republicans have seemed to outdo the polls.
Yeah.
Including, obviously, we talked about Trump. I can't find the last flipped one, though. So it says 4's been flipped. I'm not sure which one. But following 2026, right? Yeah, 2026, there's a chance Democrats can flip it back.
Right.
So hopefully we hold out enough these years that we can actually.
If we get a lot done these 2 years, maybe it won't flip back.
That would be nice. The big story, though, is the House. The Democrats have been predicted to take the House ever since for the last 2 or 3 months.
Right.
And it looks like, at the time we are recording this, they haven't got the numbers yet, but it looks like they're going to keep the House. They're at 216 to 204. By the time we post this, hopefully we'll see that we've won that. There's still 15 races that are out there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how that pans out. But
the holidays are almost here, so it's time to get your financial picture wrapped up so you can have a great Christmas and a happy new year. Reach out to me at coachwestc@gmail.com to get some financial coaching.
you're listening to the Dollars and Cents Radio Show with Jonathan Edmond and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at DollarsCentsGS and on Facebook at Dollars and Cents.
This segment is sponsored by Wave Beach Realty, 843-957-3872.
Obviously, it's going to be a very slim margin like it is this time.
Mm-hmm.
From what I hear, Mike Johnson's going to stay in the seat. That kind of upsets me because he promised that he would go back to having votes on appropriation bills.
Right.
The House of Representatives, everything the government spends has to go through the House of Representatives.
Right.
It cannot start in the Senate. It can't start with the president. It has to originate in the Appropriation Committee. That's the most powerful committee in the government.
Right.
To be able to have anything done, you got to go through there. And I'm not sure exactly when it started. I think back in the 80s or 90s, we started doing continuous resolutions since 2008, that's all we've done.
Yeah.
And so nothing ever comes to the floor to get voted on. People just keep paying what we're paying now, and they keep passing it. And
Right.
all the conservatives have been fighting it for years. Mike Johnson agreed if they put him in, he would do it, and he hadn't done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez.
But to get the debt under control, that's got to start happening.
It's got
to start
to,
debating it.
Yeah.
We've got to figure out how we're going to pay for all these years of just spending too much. I think I read a while ago we went from $11 trillion in debt in 2009 to $36 trillion in debt now.
Yeah. That pace is you can't keep that pace up. I mean, we'd be over.
No.
We'd be gone. I mean, yeah, that pace is just so rapid. Something's got to give.
It's got to. We are at $35.8 trillion in debt right now, and out of that, the last year we have paid $988 billion in interest. And what's happening is the government borrows money through bonds. They don't go to the bank. They sell treasury bonds. The bonds that they've been selling since 2008 have been at 1.5% interest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with inflation, interest rates going up, the new bonds issuing now are 4.5%.
Mm-hmm.
So every time one of those bonds comes due, we got to pay that bond and the interest, and then borrow the money to do that at 3 times the rate we were paying before.
Right.
So it is literally, we're paying more now for interest than we are for the defense of the country. The only other 2 line items in the budget that are outdoing that are Medicare at $1.8 trillion a year and Social Security at $1.4 trillion. Now, before the people start yelling at me, we're on the podcast, so that's good. And you'll say, well, I paid into that. Well, you paid into the program, but you didn't pay into any account.
Right.
The money you paid in went to pay somebody who's retired already. There was
Right.
never money up front in 1930 to get ahead. It's
Right.
always been running on itself, and it's not going to last. It's
No,
scheduled
there's no
to
way.
bankrupt.
Yeah, there's no way.
So we've got to get this under control, and the only way to get it under control is for Congress to step up and do its job.
Right. To be determined. To be determined. Well, I'm optimistic.
I'm more optimistic now than I was last week
Yeah.
because I really didn't know what was going to happen election night. And when we get that lull at 12 o'clock, I don't know if you were asleep at that point. You were
Not
back
yet.
up or not.
Not yet.
When we got that lull, I was like, "Oh crap, here we go again."
Yeah.
Are they trying it again? And I honestly think they were trying. I really think, because I heard some leak from the Harris campaign. She told her supporters, just wait until 3 o'clock. We wait until 3 o'clock to do anything.
Yeah.
And I honestly think they were planning on another drop. But as Trump asked, it was too big to rig.
Yeah.
And so there was too many votes to do anything with.
Yeah, I don't think they anticipate how many they'd have to bring in to offset him, and
No.
they just weren't ready for
There
that.
was no way to.
Yeah.
As you said earlier in one of our other podcasts, that there was so many early voters by Republicans that didn't
They
count on
just
that.
didn't account for it. They didn't think we'd all show up because we usually don't. We usually just show up on election day, and I think a lot of men showed up early because we always
Yeah.
procrastinate or don't vote at all.
Man, I was
based
planning on-
off the numbers.
I was planning on election day, and I decided, no, I'll go ahead and vote.
Yep, that's what
Yeah.
I did. I was like, it might be too busy that day. I got a lot going on. I was like, let me just go early one of these days. I set aside a couple hours, waited in line, got it over with, and didn't have to worry about it. And that was the first time I'd ever early voted, and I bet 50 other million people could probably say the same thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, the early vote was off the chain.
Yeah.
mean,
So
it was
so
60
Republicans keep early
60
voting.
million votes early, I think it was.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Had my little "I voted early" sticker that I left with.
So it's good if we take back the House. He'll have 2 years to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like we said before, if things go well, then maybe we'll get 2 more years.
Yep.
But they're going to have to do something
Right.
that is positive to get the next 2 years.
Yeah. We shall see.
I was trying to get our precinct or our district here for the House. I'm pretty sure Fry won by a large margin. I'm not sure who's running against him,
I don't know.
but none of my maps seem to be working here like I want them to.
Yeah, I don't know who was running against him.
Yeah, something happened to the internet. Now everything's just falling apart. Let me see if I can get it over here right quick. I don't think they will let me click down into it there. Oh, yeah, they do. Fry won with 65% of the vote.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Hyman was 35%.
I don't know who that is.
Who it
Yeah, I
was.
have no idea. Hey, I don't think anybody anticipated that person to stand a chance. So
No, not at all.
yeah,
So that's where we stand on the Congress. It's good. We'll just see if it's enough.
I sure hope so. I need some positivity.
Looks like you wore out for this session.
It's been a day. We've got a lot knocked out today.
Yeah, we did. We've gone through the whole election and everything else. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's been like all week I've been hearing everybody else talk about it, and then we spend all this time talking about it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
but now it's off your chest.
It's off my chest now. Yeah, we can just
So next week, no election, no
unless something
politics and
crazy
stuff
happens. Something crazy might happen between now and then that we have to talk about, but maybe we can just talk about just our normal
stuff.
yeah, back to our normal scheduled programming.
Exactly. All right, we'll cut it off here then, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right, guys. Are you looking to buy a home in the Myrtle Beach and surrounding areas? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. Wave Beach Realty has been around since 2013 and is a local family-owned company. We specialize in investment properties, single-family homes, multifamily, and condo-tels. Call Wave Beach Realty today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. You're listening to the Dollars and Cents Radio Show with Jonathan Edmond and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com.
If you like the economics part of the show, then check out my podcast, Econ Sense. You can find it on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. There's still time to enjoy the water, so reach out to Real King Charters and book today for a sunset cruise or a sightseeing time out in the ICW and into the ocean. Reach us at realkingllc@gmail.com. realkingllc@gmail.com.